everyone, it's Imogen and welcome back to Colouring Kid. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video I'm going to be sharing everything that I took with me to university for my last term in terms of my colouring books and my colouring supplies. As you know, I don't get a lot done when I'm actually at uni, but taking these things for me is more of just kind of a comfort thing. I really like to have a few of my favourite books and things with me in case I do get an opportunity to do a page, and I have reliable supplies that I know I love and use and that will work in the books that I've chosen to bring with me. So I'm going to start off with the books and then move on to the supplies. Some of them will probably be no surprise to you at all, especially given a few of the recent completed pages that I've done, if you've seen my recent video. So yeah, let's just get started. The first thing that I want to share is my bullet journal, which I always take with me. I've had two of these now, so I had one which I think carried me through 2021 or 2022, a few years ago. And then this one has been since 23, yeah. And then I've barely used it really because I just got so busy. So I've kind of changed the way that I use it a bit now. But essentially I just write down all of my colour combinations and things in this. So it's very important for me that I have this, because when I finish a page I like to write down my colours before I then move on to my next project. So you can see my 2025 setup is really minimal because I don't have the time to be using it that much. I'd rather spend time colouring rather than organising because I don't get much time. So sorry, I'm still kind of getting over a cough. I have my completed colouring pages list here, and then my colour palettes and combinations. So essentially I'm doing colour palettes for some pages and colour combinations for some. The difference between those being that these are the colour palettes, the overall palettes, and I haven't written down specific colour combinations for different objects on the pages. Whereas with this and Small Victories, I loved all the different elements and how they looked. So I wanted to write down each thing so that I could remember them for next time. And then what I've decided to do is also, and I will be doing a video on this, sharing my inspiration photos and my extractions of the colours, so you can see where the colour palettes kind of came from for the end result. So that's just what I use my bullet journal for. I also have two things in here at the moment. One is a list of YouTube related things that I'd like to do during the back, and I also have the colouring checklist challenge that Colouring Chat with Sammy is hosting, and I've just written down, not all of them, but the prompts that I think I will be able to get to, and I'm slowly ticking off. So they're just a couple of fun extra things that I'm keeping in here, so I always have to have that with me. Then we have Small Victories, of course, by Joanna Basford. So this book is always a staple. I'm always going to be bringing this with me to uni because I find that it's just such a good book for times when I only have 5 or 10 minutes to colour. And sometimes the tiny projects really do take me a long time, even though you could sit down and colour one of these in 10 minutes. I find that they do take me a while. Most of them I've done at uni actually. I did some in the holidays, but this was my most recent one. I just find that I really, really enjoy tackling these at uni. I definitely did the fish at the beginning. Yeah, these fish were done at the very beginning. That was my first one. So yeah, it's just a great pocketbook to have, and it doesn't take up much space. Then we have the Botanica postcards by Layla Dooley. Now this might be something that I swap in for next time. I like bringing them because they're pocket sized and perfect for you know, just popping in with my colouring supplies, but the likelihood of me getting to these is really not likely at all. So also considering I have a lot of other Layla Dooley stuff, but I just like having them as an option. I really enjoy looking at them as well. This is my completed one, which I have just with some tracing paper around it so it doesn't get ruined. But I completed that last year. I actually did do that at uni, funnily enough, or at least started it. I think I did a few of the flowers, but I wouldn't have had time to do the whole thing. But yeah, those. Then I bought the Brown Bear Wood colouring and spotting book. I kind of knew that I wouldn't be able to get to this, but I wanted to take it and sorry if I wasn't clear, this is the term that I've just had. So my it's what we call the Hillary term, which is our middle term, so January to March. Yeah, I knew I wouldn't be able to get to this, but I wanted to bring it, one, because I just love looking at the illustrations. I mean, they're absolutely beautiful. I also just wanted it in case, because I already had my pencils picked out, and I was taking the pencils with me anyway, so I thought, well, I'll take it, and if I manage to do a bit, then great. If I don't, then it's fine. Surprise, surprise, I did not get to it. But I sometimes, especially when I was ill and I was just in bed, I would love to just look through this and be inspired by all of the colours. It really is gorgeous. Sorry, not the colours, all the illustrations. It's stunning. I think it's one of my favourite colouring books that I have. I might decide to try and tackle this at some point at uni, just because they are smaller images and would be more manageable. But I just think it's a gorgeous book, and again, it wasn't one that I thought I would get to, but I had to have it with me. It's also got a nice board, so I love having this board because I take all of my books in my rucksack, and it's nice having this at the back to kind of protect other books. So yeah, all of the books and a few of the pencil cases fit into one rucksack, so I did pretty well. And then just my big pencil cases, they went in another bag. So that's that one. Then we have Meine Reise durch Europa by Rita Berman. I really did think I would get to this one. I was hoping to, and I didn't. I will be doing a video at some point about, I wouldn't call them abandoned books, but books that I haven't worked in for a while. The reasons for those, and why I want to come back to them. This is one of the books. I think it would be a really good video for me to do to motivate me to work in some books again. Because I have had this book for years. I love Rita Berman's style. You all know this. She's one of my favourite illustrators, and I haven't managed to get to her work for a little bit, just because when I've been getting new books, I've been trying to work in them, and there is a page that I'm hoping to do in her spring book, but I just haven't managed to rotate going through her books as much as I would like. And a few years ago, I did do a couple of pages here that I was a bit disheartened with. Those aside, I love this book, and it's one of my favourites that she's done. And some of the pages in here that I've done, I'm really proud of. And my aim was to do this page. I had actually picked a page out. I picked a few pages out. I will just show you actually. I'd picked this turtle page to do. I really liked this, and it's kind of one of the title pages, and I hadn't done it yet. I'd picked this one because I thought it would be a really nice Valentine's picture to do, and I'd already done the heart in this one. I had this one, which would have been a beautiful spring page to do, but the one that I had actually picked to do was this one, which I think I might still get to if I have time, but I was just so inspired by all of the different elements. It didn't feel... I think with some pages, especially the ones I choose to do at uni, I pick pages with repetitive elements just so that it's easier to colour. I have a colour palette in mind. It doesn't take as much thought. But I really, really wanted to do this one because there were so many different things going on, and I don't think it would have bored me at all, because there's just so many fun things to do, what with this jar and all of the starry bits here. And I think it would have been really fun, and I kind of would have made it match with this. I still think I could come back to it. This really isn't a specified season for me, this particular page, so there's no reason why I couldn't do it this back if I have time. But this was the page that I had had down to do. But I'll talk more about this when I do the video that I'm talking about. But these pages, my idea is with pages that I'm unhappy with in books, I want to come back and rectify them a little bit, go in and add more shading. I think the polychromos would potentially be perfect for that. They have some really nice darker shades. I'm not really happy with the backgrounds, and that was my own fault because I chose to use Crayola, and I didn't want them super vibrant. I think that the backgrounds are fine. It's just the other elements. There are some bits that I think could have a bit more shadowing. I did do this a few years ago, and I just felt like the page overall was a bit rushed. And then also this one, I don't think there's anything that I can really do to change this, because the actual elements I'm happy with. It's just there's too much going on with the different colours, but I think that's down to the actual conception of the page, in terms of that there's just loads of different fruit. So obviously there's going to be lots of different colours going on. So yeah, I don't think there's really anything I can do about that, and I like it. I think the main issue for me at the moment is this page. So aside from that, every other page that I've done in this book, I'm chuffed with. I might go in and add a bit more shading in on this page. But essentially this is one that I would love to complete one day. I don't really think I'm in a position at the moment to have any project books because I barely get to anything at the moment as it is. But I could see this one being a book that I keep working in. I just need to motivate myself to work in it again. That was my hope by bringing this to uni, but unfortunately that didn't work out. But I would love to get to this, and I might bring it next term. I'll do another video hopefully before I go back that will be uploaded whilst I'm at uni about what I've taken for next term. Then we have all of my Layla Dooley books. So the Flower Year I thought would be the one I would get to because it's smaller. There's lots of smaller pages with just little things in it. I had one page picked out. I don't know if this was, oh no, this is just the width that I have. I think what I might end up doing with this is just rubbing those out and starting again because I was trying to copy my original version. But yeah, I was really hoping in an ideal world I could have got to one of the smaller pages in the January, February, March sections. I do have the Periwinkle and Wren picked out. Last time when I did this I followed Always Colouring's background and then did my own thing, and I really wasn't happy with what I did myself. I loved the background. I'm thinking this time I might do a blue bokeh background, sort of in a similar vein to Always Colouring's. But yeah, I can't remember what it was. I think the periwinkles were okay, but I think this was the first page that I'd ever done in the book, and I was using Prismacolors and I wasn't as kind of as comfortable with them as I am now. So I definitely wouldn't use Prismacolors again. I don't think I would use Holbein's. So that would be one that I'd love to do in the back. But again, I was hopeful that I'd get to it and I didn't. And then the last two, again, these are more just comfort books to have with me. I knew I wouldn't get to them, but they're just gorgeous. I love looking through the illustrations. Surprisingly, as much as I transport these, they haven't got very damaged, and I'm very, very surprised by that and glad that they haven't. I have my ongoing whip in here by Layla Dooley, and because I bring my Holbeins with me, which I'll show you, I could technically carry on with this, but it's not a page that I really see myself doing whilst I'm at uni. It's just too much of a kind of intense page. I need something a bit more mindless. But I love these books. I did actually do pages in Walk in the Woods whilst I was at uni. I think I just did one. Oh, these are ones that I've had picked out, not ones that I've done. The eggs I did during the VAC. I did this at uni. So it does go to show that even, I mean, this is a very, very simple page that Layla Dooley's done in comparison to other pages in her books. But it goes to show that I do still manage to complete small things. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. So yeah, these again are more just kind of comfort books. So they're all the books I took with me. So that's 6 books and then they're postcards. So I kind of really stripped back compared to what I've taken before. I did also get some books whilst I was at uni, and I did work in one. They will be in the haul that I will share at some point, which will be an upcoming video. So I did actually end up taking 10 books back, I think. 11. So yeah, I will share those with you. But yeah, not bad for me actually. I think on average I was taking a few more in my first terms and realising quickly, yes, Imogen, you're not going to have time. What to show you next? So moving on to supplies now. So the first thing that obviously I have to have is my sharpener. Obviously this is useful not just for colouring but just in general, and it's my favourite sharpener. I've had it for a few years now and I don't really know if it's blunt yet, but it seems to be working okay, so I haven't replaced it yet. This is the Dial 133. I don't really know now what other sharpeners that are similar to this are out there, but this is just the one that I've always stuck with for probably about 3 or 4 years now. But yeah, I really like it. It's just nice to have on the desk and it's really handy, so I always have that. Then I have a pencil case which I take fine liners in. I have found that I'm not using my fine liners as much in some of my recent pages, but I think that's just because I get so stuck in with the pencils and then I forget. They are something that I'll definitely always continue using in my pages, and I do use them. These are not all of my fine liners. These are just my favourite colours from various sets. So I try to cram as many in as possible in this small pencil case. I have a random Pitt Artist pen by Faber-Castell because I really like that ivory colour, and I don't really have it in any other sets. Random Caran d'Ache Switzerland pen. So in here I have my Staedtler fine liners, which are my favourite ones. So I have the set of 60, and then I've just taken my favourites. I also have the Stabilo fine liners. These are probably my least favourite. I do like them, but I find they don't give as smooth a lay down as the other fine liners. I'm thinking of maybe doing an updated fine liner video at some point, but not much has changed particularly. And then I have my Arteza ones as well, which some of them are slightly drying up. They work well. They've got some nice colours. So again, I just keep my kind of staple favourites in here. So that's just what's in there. Then I have my two Joanna Basford pencil cases. And these I got ages ago at Waterstones, and they were reduced. They were about £3 each, and I don't think that you can buy them anymore. These have all of my random supplies in. So things like paint brushes, white gel pens. I've kind of sorted through these recently, not really recently, but I just have a few pens in here. Arteza white gel pen, clear Stardust jelly roll, Uniball Signo Silver, the Spectrum Noir clear brush pen, which I don't really use anymore because I found they transfer too much. I'm not a fan. Some spare Prismacolor blenders, some more white pens. My favourite paintbrushes, the Pro Art paintbrushes. Ooh. Have a black writing pen, the Fudenosuke Tombow. Bits and bobs, jelly roll, gold metallic, white Posca, things like that. So that's in that one. That's one I gravitate towards more, but the stuff that I use the most is in another pencil case, which I'll show you. So I could probably condense this into one. But what I like doing is taking the supplies out of this one, putting them in a drawer, and then having my on-the-go pencils in here. I say on the go, it's not like I'm going to be colouring on the go, but just my pencils that I'm currently using in here. This one has more kind of obscure things like my Derwent blender pens, pencil extenders, a pipette for my paints, a black Posca, a rubber, and then my drawing gum for watercolour. Not that I really would do any, and just some pencils. So that's that. Then we come to this pencil case. I love this. I got this years ago in Spain, and I just love it, and I've always managed to find a use for it in my colouring supplies. So this I don't really use. A lot of my pens unfortunately are drying up, and I'm really sad about that. These acrylic paint markers I love. I'm just not really in a position to be able to get any at the moment, and I don't use them super regularly, so they're not a priority, but I still really love having them, and I am upset that they are pretty much drying up now. I have a few random pastel Poscas from years ago, and then I also have in here my brush sign pens. I think they're Pentel. Yeah, they are. I love these, and I find they're really nice for basing as well. I'm just gonna pull, I don't really need to pull anything else out because it's all the same sort of thing. The only other things I do have in here are a few gel pens that I just thought would be nice, useful colours if I ever needed to use them. I can't remember what brand these are, but they're just kind of nice pastel ones, which are slightly opaque because they're kind of like the milky Pentel pens that I've seen around. I assume they're pretty similar, but just got random sorts of pens in there. And then these 2 tins are my watercolours. So I do have a lot more watercolours, but these are my ones that I take that I know I'm most likely going to use. So in here I got this little tin from Paper Chase years ago, which I really love. In here I have a few Coliro paints. So I can't remember the names of these, but I think that might be Pistachio, and this is Moon Gold. The gold I use all the time. And then the other 3 are paints by the Art Spirits, which do have names on them. So this is the Vintage Pink. I'm going to really struggle getting these out, I think. I think this is the Glistening, it's Glistening Purple or something like this, and then that's a turquoise one. But they are my kind of colours, but the gold I use a lot. And then in here I got this tiny tin from an art shop, which is really sweet. I can't remember what they're actually meant to be used for, but they do have a use, these tins. I just use them for paints. I have my Stardust paint from the Art Spirits, which I adore. That's so lovely. And then I have the gold Art Spirits. I can't remember what this one's called. I might be able to get this one out. That's Brassy. And then I have 2 paints from the Art Spirits. Now these are lovely ones because they're pink and blue, but they have gold glitter in them. So actually when they dry, they're gold. Out of the light, they are pink and blue, and then in the light, they're gold. So I really like those. So they are the paints that I take with me, hence why I have the paintbrushes. I do also need to show you a few other paints that I keep in here. Oh, sorry, I just shook the camera. Yeah, so in here I also have my Stardust from Coliro, which again I use all of the time, as you can see. And I have another paint here. I can't remember what this is called off the top of my head. I also have a few samples from Archie's paints. I thought these would just be fun to have. They're really convenient to take, and I thought, well, I can't take all of my paints with me, so let's take a few of these swatches there as well. So they're those pencil cases. Then we have my 2 big pencil cases. So in here we have, of course, my Holbeins. Now, I'm quite proud of myself. I've been very restrained in terms of the amount of pencil I've taken, really. The only thing I regret not taking, which I might try and take next time, are my luminants, because I want to use those a lot more. What I tend to do with my Holbein is if I need more space, I take out the metallics. I've got the metallics in a different pot, and then also my luminous ones, I feel like I could forgo those and just put them in a different pot as well. So I could make space and in here and put my luminants, or alternatively in the other pencil cases I'm going to show you. But yeah, most of these are in here. Some of them are being used at the moment for that brown bear wood picture, but I have to bring these up. These are a no-brainer. I use them for all of the stuff that I want to, you know, kind of turn out the best. So I've got my Holbeins in the next set that I'll show you, and pretty much that's for all of my kind of serious colouring, if you know what I mean. So I've got my Holbeins in there, and then in here I have my Black Widows, which I adore, and I take these because I love how they work in Rita Berman's books. And obviously I was hoping to get to that picture that I showed you, and I didn't. I haven't actually tried using these in Small Victories. I tend to stick to the polychromos, so it would be really interesting to try these in her book. But I'm not currently using these on any project, so these are completely ordered and sorted, and they look lovely. I also have swatches in here, so I do bring my Faber-Castell Black editions with me, and I just keep the swatch in here. And then also these are the Black Widows. So yeah, they're my main cases. And then finally we have 2 other pencil cases, which arguably are my most used pencils, most important pencil cases. So these are my lovely Treat People with Kindness pencil cases, which I got when I went to see Harry Styles. I got one on his website before, when they'd just been released as part of the tour match, and then I got this one actually when I went to see him on tour a couple of years ago. So this one, I keep my main other pencils in here. So it's not very pretty. Like, this is more just convenience, and it's annoying having them in bunches. I don't particularly like bunching my pencils up like this. I'd much rather have them in a case, but I can't really keep them in a case, and The pencil wrap that I have only fits 30 pencils, and the wraps just kind of aren't my thing anyway, because it takes up so much space on your desk trying to get the colours out. So this is just short term what works for me. And eventually, when I am not at uni and I'm not travelling around as much, I will put these back into a case. But I have random miscellaneous pencils. You may remember, if you've seen my recent completed pages video, that I shared a picture that I'd done in Small Victories with the flowers and the bordered background in the green that I'd done. A lot of the pencils were from this bunch, so I have a few random Derwent artists I bought years ago. Tombow Rogerton, I've got about 12 of those I think that I collected over the years. A few random Derwent Lightfast and a few Pablo. So that's what's in there. A few rubber bands in case I need them. And then I have all of my polychromic, I say all of them. These are all of them, but I don't have the complete set. So I think I probably now have about 75 of the full set. I would eventually love the whole set, but just not, again, in a position to get it. And I won't be getting ever really the full set, you know, purchasing the full 120. If I was to get the remaining colours, I'd get them open stock, I think, because I have enough out of the full set. This isn't all of them. Some of them I'm using for the Brown Bear Wood page, as well as some of the Faber-Castell Black editions. So they're in my other pencil case. But these are my remaining ones, which I just section off with kind of reds, oranges, yellows, purples, greens and blues, and then other colours. In here as well, I have my black editions. This is the 100 set. Again, I've just sectioned them off into sections. I also have some random, I don't really know why I've got these in here because I don't use pastel, but cotton wall pads, and also some random bookmarks that I've made. So yeah, that's what I keep in there. So they are very much a staple for me. I use these all the time. I love these pencil cases. You can actually fit a huge amount in these if you're really kind of clever with zipping them up. So these are most likely what I will be taking to Devon and on holiday, because they are so compact, and like I said, you can fit a lot in. So that's my first one. And then my last one, this is the last thing I'm going to share, I have my other one. So this has all of the bunches of pencils with current projects. So I actually do have one more book to show you, or their postcards. I'll show you that in a sec. So these are the Brown Bear Wood pencils. I've kind of lost track with them. I don't know if these are definitely all of them, but I don't know if I've actually used all of these pencils yet, or I will be using all of them on the page. These are just kind of colours that I thought I would use, and I kept them aside. It's a mixture of polychromos, Faber-Castell Black Edition and Holbein. So I've just kind of decided to keep them separate for the time being. Then, and I'm going to show you this now with my postcards. The reason I have sectioned these off is because Marcel actually did some colouring with me a few weeks ago. When we went back to my house for the weekend, he started working in Minorizer Asian. I wasn't going to show this until he completed it, but I figured I might as well, seeing as I did take this to uni with me. And he's done such a good job, and I'm really proud of him. And I will show this when it's completed. Why can't I find it? He started working on this, and bearing in mind he's never touched a colouring pencil really since he was very young. So he's made such a good job at the blending for the background, the palm trees. I just think it looks really good. So he's going to finish that off in Devon. And I didn't have my pencils with me when we went home. So I said, well, you pick from my Prismacolors and my Luminance, use whatever you want. And then I'll bunch them up and take them back to Oxford, and then we can continue working on the page. So I'm keeping these aside for him so that he can carry on working on it. So yeah, like I said, there are some Prismacolor Polycolor pencils, which I think I just had randomly in with my Luminance, because I think in one case I have my Prismacolor, Luminance and Polycolor. I lost track, did I say? Yeah, Prismacolor, Luminance, Polycolor. So they are those. I think he's done such a good job. I really am proud of him. And it's lovely, like I said in my last video, that he's willing to kind of take part in my hobbies, and yeah, I just think it's really sweet of him. So then I have my swatches for my Holbeins. They are a necessity. And then I have lots of other random things in here, which I haven't sorted out yet. So I'll just get them out. This is a colour thing that I need to keep aside for brown bear wood. Some of these are essential and some of them I just need to put away and I haven't done it yet. So I have my Derwent eraser, which I accidentally left back at my house and didn't take back for the last 2 weeks of term. I have a new Posca pen and an old one. Can't remember which one's which, but I need to chuck one of those. Various pens which I use in my bullet journal. A few fine liners, which were colours that I'd used recently. And a few blender pens, another rubber, biro, white gel pen and a white Pitt artist pen. Then I have a Tagal sharpener, not that I really use it, but if I am travelling and need one, that's still fairly okay. I don't think it's blunt yet. Then I have washi tapes. Essential for lots of things, not colouring really, but just if I'm wrapping a present, anything like that. I've got some really cute ones. These are just a few of them, but these are some of my favourites. Some of them I do actually use in colouring projects, like I've said. So I use these ones for the mushrooms in my Dear page in Animaux de Bois. But yeah, I've got some really cute ones there. I also have these stickers, washi flower stickers, which I love using. That's all stationery related. But then I have my Faber-Castell eraser, kneadable eraser, that one. A couple of extenders. I tend to only keep the bigger ones in my bag because I don't take Prismacolors with me for when I'm at uni, and the Prismacolors fit the smaller ones. The only ones that would fit the smaller ones are the Faber-Castell Black Edition, but none of those are really small enough yet. And then finally I have a couple of rubbers. My favourite one, the Faber-Castell Dust Free. Really like that. That's great for erasing big areas. And another dust free one, which is pink, which I just happen to have on the go as well. So that's everything that I have to share with you. That's everything that I took to uni. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you think there's anything that I should be taking that I haven't, or vice versa. I do appreciate this. For some people might be a lot of stuff that I'm taking for 8 weeks. And for some people it might not be very much. So I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts, and I will, as I said, update you with things that I'm changing about this in an upcoming video of what I'll be taking for Trinity term, which is my last term. Most likely these pencil cases will all be the same, so I will just kind of skim through those next time. The main difference will be books that I'm taking. And why I'm taking them. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Everything will be down below as usual in the description if you want to get in contact with me privately via email. My shop's down there, which will be open until the middle of April. So yeah, take care everyone. Bye.